All righty, good morning. Let me get my. Uh-oh, don't blow it out. Thank you. Well, maybe.
Brain freeze.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, all the classes. All righty. All right, let's call this meeting to order. It is 10:06. It is Tuesday, August 13th, a beautiful, beautiful day. And I'd like to call the roll.
Okay, Ellen,
Alan, present.
Bates. Berman.
Here.
Doherty.
We're here.
All right, Davis.
Davis here.
All right, Ford. Gums. Iqbal.
Iqbal present.
Juby.
Should be here.
Kenyon.
Here.
Caius. Leonard.
Leonard here.
Lewis.
Who's here?
Linder.
Linder here remote.
Molina.
Molina present.
Roth.
Roth here.
Sanchez.
Sanchez present.
Silva.
Silva is here.
Strathman.
Strathman present.
Surgis. Tarver.
Harvard's here. Tepe here.
Williams.
Williams here.
Young.
Here.
And Madam Chair, you're here. You have a quorum.
All righty, and the only remote attendance I believe requested is by Mr. Linder. Is that accurate?
And Doherty.
Ready?
See, I see. there,
Davis.
Mr. Doherty. Do I have your permission to allow these gentlemen in?
Yes.
Yes.
And Davis.
Davis.
Oh, Mr. Davis, yes. Okay, there you are. Absolutely. And Mr. Davis, you're work related.
Yes.
Very good. All right, well, welcome, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, thank you. Bring it up a little bit closer. And I believe that it is Mr. Leonard's turn to do the pledge and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's very good.
And I have a very short invocation. Dear Lord, please help all of us to make thoughtful, respectful, and wise decisions in an expeditious manner that will benefit all the residents of Kane County. Amen.
Thank you, sir. All right, nice and sweet. And I think we can reflect on all of that. You still can't hear me?
You have to get closer.
All right, I pretend. Let me. There. Okay, we got it now. All righty. Approval of minutes. May I please have a motion to approve the minutes of May 29th, July 9th, and July 24th, 2024.
Madam Chair, this is Caius. I would ask for unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes, May 29th, July 9th, and July 24th, 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Caius. Unanimous consent given?
Yes.
Yes, yes, all right, very good. And welcome, Ms. Bates and Ms. Gums. Oh, that's fine, that's fine. Righty. All right, we are now moving on to public comment as usual. Today we have a number of speakers and we, once again, as a matter of protocol, we ask that our speakers refrain from statements, remarks, or conduct that may become disruptive to the conduct of the county board or which may cause disturbance. There are two speakers I am aware of on agenda. They will each be given 5 minutes and they will be called first. After that, the remaining speakers are off agenda for their remarks, and they will each be given 3 minutes to speak. So to begin, I'll ask one more time. His name was called, but he did not answer his mark. Adaman arrived yet? No? Okay, so we'll be moving on.
I'm here. Sorry.
Are
I didn't hear my name, so
are you online, sir?
yes, I am.
Okay, very good. Let's get, you're on your phone. Can we bring this picture up, see speaker view? Give us just a second, please.
Sure.
So we'll have three speakers who'll be speaking. All right, we always see your iPhone. Could we see your camera? Could you turn your camera into first? Is that possible?
It's been so long since I've been on Zoom.
There you are.
Can you see? Okay. Yeah, it's
Okay.
because I had to hit tap to speak on the one screen. I don't normally have to do that when I was on my
Okay.
work Zoom.
All right, well, you're, there you are. Welcome. Okay.
Okay.
Please, sir, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, I have a couple questions about what's going on because I'm in unincorporated Kane County. There is not approximately, I have 2 horses on the side of my house with one property, and I have up to 12 horses right at the back end of my property. So I mean, I understand where you're coming from, that this is open land, that you want to continue to have that as a priority for this area. The problem that ensues with having this type of livestock is a fly problem. Now, I know that the horses cannot be 100 feet from a property, 25 feet from a property line. And the people have, I think, pretty much complied with the 100 feet from a structure, which the way it is right now, one of them just barely complies. The problem that I have now is that I can have up to 14 horses within 1 acre of my house. I don't know about you personally, but anytime I open my door, I have the potential of having anywhere between 3 and 5 flies come into my house. I find them a repulsive parasite, not a parasite, insect. And any person who has a house, and when you open your door, maybe you'll get 1 or 2 flies in a year. I will get 1 to 2 flies in a day, up to 5. My car gets infested with flies. So I essentially get taxed to try and get rid of those flies for this open land problem. So I don't know if it's a problem, but why is it me having to deal with it for people's right to have the horse? Their rights are not supposed to infringe on mine. That's really the way our laws are set up. Your rights tend to stop when they infringe on another person's, regardless if it's your property, the zoning and whatnot. Either we have a miscommunication because zoning wanted to come out and look at my house. They should be looking at their property and what they are doing with their refuse. So the horse manure, I don't know any person that doesn't realize that horse manure brings in tremendous amounts of flies. Okay, so I digress with that. Then the property in the back is going to be eventually zoned agricultural or farmland because of what they have done with a structure on the property for housing up to 12 horses, and it's for horse therapeutics. So they're running a business for, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but there is a way for people to use horses as therapy. I'm not sure that that would comply with the agricultural, but I'm not in the position you are. My name is Mark Kadanian. I have a master's in public administration. I'm not liking how all this stuff is being structured right now. Also, I had complained about the speed limit on Anderson Road between Campton and B. That's a power strip. People like test their automobiles all the time in front of my house. I've asked for a speed study before on the property. The highway commissioner said that they did it like 10 years ago. And I'm like, well, we're not in that kind of, we're not in that space right now. I think it needs to be redone. That was another issue. Then we have a problem with during hunting season, people will go ahead and hunt off of, there's a part of Anderson Road right in front of my house where the Biddles have a little carve out. I had contacted them and asked them not to have their friends or people there hunt on the property right in front of my house. Maybe go to their house and let them hunt in front of their house, because there was an accidental gunfire, shotgun fire, while I was walking my dog down my property, down my driveway. And I was utterly pissed off.
Mark, if your 5 minutes is up.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't find that as a derogatory statement. That's not
Mark?
a derogatory statement. I didn't use profanity. Did not. I'm allowed to be upset.
Oh, sure. No,
I
no,
had
no.
to, go ahead.
Please, I'm going to refer your comments to our development team, since a lot of that is through
Okay.
development. And Mr. Young is your county board member, I believe. And he
Okay.
will be giving you a call, and he will be able to assist you and really be able to go in depth to your issues and see if we can come. Whose is it? Is it Mr. Williams? We'll find out. We'll get your address and we'll find out
Okay.
exactly where you
I'll
are.
give it. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
One other thing is that I
I'm
also,
sorry. I'm sorry,
Go
sir. We're very strict with the timing, but we do look forward to hearing from you some more and see what we can do to assist you and address your questions. So appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, Dan Rasby, here you go. Yes, and you are on agenda, sir.
Good morning. I'm here talking about the proclamation that you're going to be voting on, possibly signing today with the LGBTQ community. 31 years I've been a member of this Kane County. For 24 years of that, I served in a law enforcement capacity, both here in the state of Illinois, federally for the last 18 years, and overseas. During that time, we had all kinds of things happen of people trying to attack our country, okay? Our goal was to defeat that before it showed up. Not too long ago in the city of Chicago, we were doing an operation on the downtown area. Shots rang out. A gentleman running down the street, who's the bad guy, ran into one of the commanders of Chicago Police Department. The commander was able to fight with the gentleman. Unfortunately, he lost that fight, and the bad guy stood over the top of him and executed him. Bad, right? That gentleman who shot the commander was escorted into Cook County Sheriff's Office to a round of applause, standing round, because he executed a police officer. Romans chapter 1, the last verse says this: who knowing the judgment of God, and it lists a litany of things: murder, adultery, all kinds of things, even disobedience to parents. Well, boy, we're all guilty, right? But who knowing the judgment of those things, they which commit these things are worthy of death. And we'd agree in this situation, horrible what happened to that commander. But this is the part I point to you as the county board. It says not only are those people in a lot of trouble, it's the ones that take pleasure in them. The standing ovation in Cook County of a cop killer, okay? So we'll go to this. In Romans chapter 1, it lists that litany of sins. But one of the things that we're talking about is this, and I appreciate the invocation at the beginning of the meeting. Thank you. So here we are, the first two verses. For the invisible things from the creation of the world are clearly seen, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imaginations. Their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. And the one that you skip over, although we talk about murder and these different things, is these verses 24. Wherefore God gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator. For this cause, God gave them up to vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use in which they have against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burned in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving themselves the reward and punishment. And even though they do not want to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. You'll say, well, you're a Bible banger, you're this, you're that. That has no place here. Psalm chapter 2 talks about our sitting governments, how they try to divide people, and how specifically they try to root out Bible-believing Christians. It says the Lord sits in the heavens
How
and
is
he
this
laughs.
How is this
He
part of an?
laughs. Sorry,
How is
someone's
this
talking.
part?
He sits in the heavens and he laughs. He'll have you in derision. Do you know what derision is? It's you'll be mocked. So again, you'll sit back and say, yeah, but you're a Bible banger. You're a homophobe. You're this or that, the other. In my 24 years in the team I was on, some of my best friends were from this community that you want to proclaim this proclamation. And I'll tell you this, words are cheap. Cheap. When I laid down my life for my fellow soldiers, my fellow officers, it didn't matter what sexual orientation they were. And you know what? Even though they knew where I stood, it didn't matter to them either. Words are cheap. Actions. Greater love hath no man than a man lay down his life for his friends. You want to talk about true love. I'm going to go to your proclamation. That's yours. It's imperative to confront and challenge discrimination. You'll see it, it's on number 5. You're straight out of every organized crime, corrupt entity, and corrupt government handbook. Replace that LGBTQ with God-fearing, Bible-believing Christians. Replace it. See if you actually pass it, okay? I urge you not to sign it. Thank you very much.
All right, the next speaker is Adam Powley. Adam, are you here? There he is. Welcome, Adam.
Can everybody hear me all right?
A little bit
Great.
louder. Put the microphone closer.
Can you hear me now?
It's much better. Thank you.
Great. Good morning. I rise today in support of the Pride resolution. It is a celebration of our rights and freedoms that exist here in this country that are under attack at times. And when some of our rights and freedoms come under attack, eventually all of them will. We look at our history found by those words in our Constitution that we're trying to form a more perfect union. And those words have spurred on our history with all of it. And as Americans, we have a shared history and we also have a shared destiny. But in that also comes a shared struggle to jealously safeguard our rights and freedoms. The gentleman who made some great comments mentioned adultery. I'm not up here to talk about adultery. I'm not here to talk about those sorts of things. And the idea that people who do that deserve death, as it says in Romans. I went to Catholic schools. I don't deserve death. I'm not an adulterer. I believe that we need to celebrate our rights and freedoms, or they're going to go away. And if they go away for our LGBT community, who are they going to come for next? We need to safeguard these things. We need to go back to our founding fathers, those ideas that come from natural law. The Declaration of Independence was based in that natural law, that idea that there is a higher power. We don't necessarily know what the nature of that higher power is. I think that it's arrogant for people to say that they know what the nature of that higher power is, but that is where our rights and freedoms derive, that all men are created equal, they're endowed by their creator. It's from that natural law that we get our rights and freedoms. And so I encourage a yes vote. It's important for us to acknowledge these things and to preserve these freedoms that we have. Because if we don't, they could very well go away. And I do not want to be able to tell my children what it was like to be free. I thank you and I yield the balance of my time.
Thank you. All right, we're now going off consent, so each one of the following speakers will have 3 minutes. The first speaker is Lori Baker.
Counselor?
Right there.
Good morning. I am Lori Baker, President and CEO of the Association for Individual Development, or AID. And I've come for 2 reasons today. I am sending around a notice that we wrote up in the end of July and sent to the board to talk about the increased mental health need that we are seeing and addressing across Kane County. We have recently been able to increase crisis services, including mobile crisis response, living room model, and a variety of other interventions, right, that assist in a mental health crisis at the time. So it's they're 24-hour programs, and they are funded mostly about 75% by the state of Illinois. And we have been losing our shirt on the other 25% in order to be able to respond in a 24-hour period. So as you consider what little pennies you have left in the bottom of the can as you vote on the rest of ARPA funding today, I would ask you to consider if there is any opportunity to assist AID with some of this additional cost. We are expanding mental health services in a couple different ways. One is through ARPA money coming through the Kane County Health Department, where we have been put up for 2 different grants there that will help us expand our electronic health records and our children and youth services across Kane County for mental health. And we also have been awarded money to build a community mental health center in Elgin that we are jumping through all the hoops for federal money from Congressman Krishnamurthy through HRSA, which is the health I don't know, Services Administration, HRSA at the federal level. So we have about 2/3 of the money for that building, and we'll hopefully be starting construction in the late fall. If not, it'll be early spring on that building. And then the other thing that I wanted to do was to invite you all to plan to somehow participate in the AID annual benefit auction, All Hallows Eve, which is on Thursday, October 17th at the Q Center in St. Charles. You're welcome to attend by purchasing a ticket, or we have ads in our program or sponsorships, and would love to see some representation from the Kane County Board be able to attend those meetings. Thank you for all that you've been working to do to expand mental health access in Kane County. The need is greatly increased, and we are all service providers working together to try to expand the options. Thank you.
Thank you. Russell Kaniz.
Hello, my name is Russ Nyes, a 38-year Kane County resident, and retired senior aerospace avionics engineer. I'm speaking today in rebuttal to the comments made by Brenda Engelhardt during this August 7th executive meeting regarding previous public comments relating to the climate action plan. I listened to her comments several times and I was absolutely appalled at what I heard. Insulting, condescending, disrespectful only begins to describe the feelings she imposed. In her comments, I found a single statement containing facts. She said, and I quote, "I have a 25-year-old son at home and I've taught 11 to 12-year-olds for a lot of years," close quote. Beyond that, her comments were laden with schmoozing accolades for the board members in an attempt to foster credibility and support for her board candidacy run. Her remaining commentaries were attacks on those who actually provided facts, figures, and historical context to the climate issue. Based on the tone and animosity of her comments, there is no way Ms. Engelhardt should be given the privilege of being on the Kane County Board, as obviously she has little regard for her constituents or their concerns. Further, Ms. Engelhardt claimed that, quote, "the board was accosted and disrupted with disinformation with people whose goals were not to solve but to point out errors and get a political leg up," close quote. She provided no details on the board, how the board was accosted, or what the disinformation was. So if providing actual scientific graphs, geologic measurement data, and study conclusions are what she's referring to, and yes, I'm guilty of that. By the way, why is she against pointing out errors? Why would she even say that? It doesn't even make sense. She also stated, quote, "there is no credible science that denies climate change or its trajectory," close quote. First off, no credible science comment is her own opinion and carries no weight. Just who defines credible science? Her? Secondly, virtually no one denies climate change. It's always changing, always has, always will. That's why the term was quietly changed from global warming to climate change. The former might not be provable, but the latter is a given. I previously provided several scientifically measured additional contributing sources to the climate issue. These data clearly indicate that CO2 is not the sole source of the change, nor whether its reduction will change anything. They are only guessing. Making CO2 the boogeyman is an easy target because almost everything other than plant life emits it. No further proof is needed. Remember the scientific law: correlation is not causation. A cat sitting on a bent tin roof is not the cause of the bent tin roof. It's the same for CO2. Thirdly, I absolutely reject her claim about its trajectory. There are no studies or computer models that have accurately predicted the climate change profile as yet. To claim otherwise is basically a personal opinion or a lie of facts. She further states, as she thanks you schmoozing against, standing in the face of the people that come in to disrupt and talk in fear. So to conclude, we don't talk in fear. We talk in facts, whether Ms. Engelhardt likes it or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Could we close that door so that we don't hear and allow people to speak freely? Thank you. Michelle Bettig?
Hi, Michelle Bettag, St. Charles. First of all, I want to say that I do support legal immigration. Just to keep bringing the same topic up, Wall Street Journal reported on June 22nd that Kane County was one of the largest suburban counties in the country to receive illegal aliens, 17-fold, which is a 1,700% increase. Chicago is the ground zero landing for illegal immigration. Many military-aged men are being received by the city of Chicago. They report it themselves. All these numbers, all these facts are reported by the city of Chicago. Venezuela has emptied their prisons into our country. Chicago is receiving many of those Venezuelans that are criminals. They're causing many problems in the city of Chicago. African Americans all across the city are protesting this immigration because it's taking away from their services, their neighborhoods, and their safety. Pritzker is issuing driver's license to these illegal aliens and at the same time registering them to vote. So they are on the voter rolls. Harm of the Kane County citizens. Chair Parag has many FOIAs that we have received communicating what the city of Chicago and Brandon Johnson's office to receive illegals. Unfortunately, Kane County can't take the money directly, but many communications with Mavis Bates and Madam Chair Parag to figure out how to receive the money. So the very citizens that Chair Parag wants to protect Kane County citizens, we have many minorities, many below poverty levels. Those are going to harm our citizens the most. So whether people that are voting straight party because they're so loyal to a party wants to admit it or not, they are harming the citizens that they care so much about. When will this stop? When Madam Chair's family gets injured, when other supporters' families get injured, when services are taken away from their families? I am, again, support legal immigration. However, when I have a county board chair who is interested in making a bigger job than she has in receiving illegals into our county, again, Wall Street Journal article, it's not my words. This is a very leading publication. I have made 2,000 copies if anybody wants a copy. Anyways, just a real quick, this year, Oak Brook Mall has arrested 150 Venezuelans to date shopping at the mall. City of Chicago has arrested in 2021.
Your time is up. Your time is up.
Okay, 6 Venezuelans.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
2024, they're up to 1,700. Protect our county.
Ellen, are you here?
Good morning. My name is Ellen Young. I've been a resident of Kane County for 45 years. First of all, I wish to thank the board for its many accomplishments, some of which are near and dear to me personally. As an election judge, I've seen firsthand how much better the new voting machines are and their processes work better. As a parent, grandparent, and educator, I care deeply about gun safety and love the gun safety lock program. My husband and I were beneficiaries of the COVID-19 mass vaccination program. We believe in the specialty courts as a problem-solving approach, and we are grateful for the preservation of farmland. So I want to thank you for the board doing all of that good work, and I hope you will add to that today by passing the proclamation to recognize June as Pride Month. I believe Kane County should be an inclusive and welcoming place, and we don't need to specify every group, but all you have to do is look at the constant vandalism of the Pride fire hydrant to recognize that there's work to be done there. But I also came today to address the current state of Kane County finances. I am very concerned about our dependence on using reserves to pay for ongoing current expenses. This is not a sustainable solution. We cannot afford to use up reserves. We will be unprepared should we have any kind of emergency. And look at the derecho that passed through here recently. It could happen, and we need that money to be available for emergencies, not for daily expenses. We either have to generate more income or cut services. I know there are people on both sides of the argument. That decision belongs to the taxpayers who will be paying the bill. I again ask the board, it's time. You haven't had a tax increase in 13 years. It's time to put the issue on a referendum and let the taxpayers decide whether they would rather pay that additional fee or give up services. We need a referendum, and we need taxpayers to choose, and we need to do it now before we run out of reserves. Thank you.
The last speaker is Brian Anderson. I'm sorry, there's one more speaker. Brian, you have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Brian Anderson, Sugar Grove, Illinois. Delighted to be speaking in front of the 24 board members. I think most of you are here. I'm going to go back to the July 30th meeting. I hope all of you got online and listened to the hour and 54 minutes of the Special Finance Committee meeting. There was another Special Finance Committee meeting yesterday, and I feel the pain. I feel the stress. I feel the frustration, not only by a few of the Republicans, but by the Democrats. And I'm not going to name names, but I'm very proud of them speaking up and challenging. Now, you've heard me say it before. It's the CEO's job. Keep the main thing the main thing. We've had 7 months of finance committee meetings. That should be top of mind every month, and it hasn't. I heard my board member, Bill Leonard, talk about wasteful spending. And I was reminded by the $800,000 that we spent for wanting new buildings. Again, I digress. I heard some Democrat board members go, we've been talking about this for 3 years, which leads me to the CEO. Keep the main thing the main thing. I'm not blaming you, board members. What I am blaming is in any organization, when they go and hire a new executive, a new CEO, they typically do that because they're not getting the results that they need. Now, 84 days to election. I walked into this boardroom last week on Wednesday, the list of accomplishments. Now, I'm not going to dissect those or diminish those, but the little gun safety lock program, we actually have no data on it. It was just launched. We wasted $50,000 to have that done. We spent months and months and months on the climate change initiative. That's not going to be fulfilled. Now, where am I going with this? This all falls on the shoulders of the CEO. Why is she getting a mountain of donations outside of Kane County from other unions? I find that baffling. The other thing you want in a good leader is character and integrity. I'm very concerned why she's taken over $1,500 from a strip club, okay? I don't know if a reporter asked me, Mr. Anderson, did you know that you got that on your D2s? I'd go, thank you for reminding me. I should have known. I don't want this money. Why? Because I don't represent that lifestyle. And oh, by the way, we can pull a Brenda Shorey article from 2020 when she tried to besmirch her constituent, making him take care of some donations that would be questionable. Why am I
Time
here?
is up. Your
It's
time is up,
for a
Brian.
change. Thank you very much, board.
Our next speaker and final speaker of the day is Cecilia Brooks. She's off agenda. 3 minutes.
Good morning, Kane County. Thank you for having me. My name is Cecilia Brooks. I'm a 24-year-old proud American, and let me put it that, a first-generation American. I was born to 2 legal immigrant parents who have given me the world, and in this country, I am proud to say that I'm a first-generation American. Now, this country has given me everything, from opportunities to education, to a home, to a family that loves me unconditionally. At the end of the day, I worship God and only God. However, where I see this country going is a big concern of mine. And being a young Latina minority voter, I urge you all, and I come in front of you today to make decisions not based on what your wants or your needs are, but for the future of this country, for the future of Kane County. Me, myself, I am the future of this country. Young women, young men who are also Latino minorities. At the end of the day, we are all Americans. But I come in front of you today, Madam Chair, to address the issue of our sanctuary county status. As I've said, mentioned time and time again before, I am proud of any legal immigration and I support that. However, when it gets to the point that there are victims of violent crimes who are coming from places like Venezuela, Mexico, Cuba, anywhere that they are emptying those prisons, as mentioned previously, that is true. And as a victim of a violent crime due to an illegal immigrant, I come here before you angry at the situation that has occurred in our county, where the influx of illegal immigrants, let's stop calling it the migrant crisis and let's call it for what it is. It's an influx of illegal immigrants over our southern border who come to Kane County, where is my home now, is your home, where our families are. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of you, if not all of you or most of you, have children who will be my age one day, who are going to inherit this country and the state that it is in. However, our county is where things start. Politics start at a local level. Politics start at a grassroots level, which is why I am involved in local politics, local, statewide, and national politics, because I care. I care about our country, but if we continue allowing these illegal aliens into our Kane County, using our resources who were meant for our Kane County residents, where does that leave us? It leaves us with a lack of resources. It leaves us with a lack of integrity, and it leaves us with no faith in the county board. So I'm looking at you, Madam Chair, right now, and I would hope that and I urge you to address this issue. You say that it has been a larger government issue. Well, I would urge all of you and anyone who is listening to look into these issues further, because God bless America and God bless Kane County. With that, I yield my time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our public comment. And now we go on to some celebratory matters. With your respect, I'd like to offer a change in our agenda, because I'd like to do both of the proclamations at the beginning. So I've talked to Mr. Sturgis, he's in agreement. I'd like to move the proclamation recognizing Pride Month earlier, and that is item number, it's the only item in Human Services. Thank you very much. Do I have your permission to move that forward? Yes, thank you. I see. Thank you very much. All right, so. I'm sorry, Mr. Frank. I cannot hear you.
Even with the proclamation, you still have to have a motion, second, discussion, vote.
Council move. Both.
Second. Okay, thank you. And we need to call voice roll. Call the roll to. I'm not sure what we're doing, because we're just moving it. We're just moving. Oh, we're motion and a second to approve the proclamation regarding Mott's Lounge. This is what we're talking about.
Oh, Mott's Lounge, okay.
And
Oh,
Mr. Young,
okay.
would you like to have a discussion on that?
Well, you had the proclamation regarding Pride Month up on the screen, so I thought that's what we were discussing.
Oh, no, we're doing, Blair, we're doing, that one comes next.
Sorry.
3-9.
I'm lost.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, who moved it in second?
Gums first, Bates second.
Thank you.
For Mott's Lounge.
Got it.
It's under county development.
Kind of, I lost it.
We've moved that,
agenda.
we've moved that to the front.
Can we confirm the resolution number as a point of order?
It's for Mott's Lounge, it's DOC-2024-39 under county development.
Thank you, Celeste.
Okay, so we're going to be moving both of the proclamations up to
And
the
then, yeah,
beginning.
the other one for Pride Month is DOC-2024-40 under Human Services.
Mr. Doherty, I believe this is in your district, is it not?
Actually, it's my district.
Oh, please. Oh, welcome.
So I would move the Mott's Lounge proclamation forward.
And we're also second.
Thank you. Would you like to, we need to take a vote on that? Is there any discussion on Mott's Lounge? Yes. Mr. Young.
I'd like to hear a little history behind this. It seems like it's a historic.
Oh, indeed it
place.
is. Indeed it is. Ms. Mann, do you have a little bit of the history, or do we have, no, we have one of the owners of Mott's.
Hi, I'm Robin Getzelman. I'm the 5th generation of Mott's Lounge. My parents, Ted and Tamara Getzelman, who are sitting in the back row.
Stand up, come on.
They actually own Mott's Lounge. My great-great-grandma Flora Mott started, and her husband Albert Mott, in 1924. So during the Great Depression and the Prohibition. And we have made it 100 years this year. So being in the same family.
Very nice.
Yes.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
I was wondering if you had brought swamp juice for the crowd and
No,
for the.
no, I did not bring swamp water today.
Did. Could you just please share with the board, that's such a delightful little story about what happened during Prohibition?
Oh, yeah, sure. So Flora Mott started the bar. Al Capone kind of triggered all of this with her husband, Albert. And, you know, when people would come into the bar, they would say, "Can I have a whiskey?" And when they did that, Flora would say, "Sure, go back in the back." There was cornfields. Go 5 rows back, 6 to the left to find your whiskey. And also when the cops would come out in through the front, everybody would run out the back and hide in the cornfields. So the bar does have a lot of rich history, and I'm sure if those walls could talk, there'd be a zillion stories.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Monica Silva, District 7. I would like to let you know I did stop into the bar over the weekend and said hello. And I can feel the history as I walk in. But the most beautiful thing about the time that I was there were the folks who are your patrons and how they engage with each other. It seems like a large family. They invited me in, we spoke. And I just want to tell you, it gave me the feeling that I was on vacation, if that means anything to you.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a beautiful establishment. Thank you so much for having it. And I wish you the best success in the world.
Thank you. Yes, we do pride ourselves on our community base and hosting charitable events and bringing the community together. It's wonderful.
It certainly shares that, and your sister is delightful.
Oh, yes, my sister, Emmy. Yeah.
Absolutely delightful. Are there any other questions? So with that, Mr. Young, I'll let you do the honor since it's your district. and you
Williams.
can- Williams. Sorry,
It's fine.
Mr. Williams. We have the problem with gums and Juby. It's an interchange.
Already happened once today.
It's an interchange. So Mr. Williams, could you please read the proclamation? And we have it right.
Do you have it, Ann?
And then we'll we will vote after reading the proclamation.
Proclamation recognizing Mott's Lounge in Burlington, Illinois on its 100th anniversary. Whereas Mott's Lounge, a cherished establishment steeped in history, has been under the stewardship of the Mott family since its inception in 1924. And whereas founded by Albert and Flora Mott, the lounge initially welcomed locals to gather around their Brunswick bar for a refreshing beverage or an appetizing meal. And whereas in the tumultuous 1920s and the Prohibition era, Mott's was officially labeled a cafeteria while discreetly operating as a speakeasy. When law enforcement appeared, patrons skillfully exited through a concealed back door into the cornfield, where available spirits were shared among the corn rows. And whereas with the repeal of the 18th Amendment, thank goodness, Mott's emerged from the shadows to become a cornerstone of small town life. And whereas while Albert Mott passed away in 1950, Flora, who retired in 1980 at the age of 85, lived to the remarkable age of 101. The management baton skipped a generation to her granddaughter, Shirley Getzelman, who transformed the establishment into the well-known Mott's Lounge. And whereas Mott's evolved into a commercial hub for the Burlington residents, neighboring farmers, and those from surrounding communities, Shirley, driven by a commitment to community welfare, hosted fundraisers for charitable organizations and generously opened her home to all as a place for peace and celebration during the holidays. And whereas remaining true to Mott's legacy, the current proprietors actively support various charitable causes. They organize and sponsor events such as bike rides and runs for cancer research and veterans, and host activities to raise funds for the local food pantry. And whereas Ted Getzelman, Shirley, and Don's son and his family are the 4th generation to own Mott's, they have enriched Mott's tradition of lively enjoyment, exceptional food, and a warm community atmosphere. Now, therefore, the Kane County Board, hereby proclaims its recognition and appreciation of Mott's Lounge for its remarkable 100-year history, enduring legacy, and unwavering commitment to community service. Thank you.
Thank you. Board, please, before we do too many of the applause, we need to approve this. So could you please call the roll?
Ellen? Berman?
Yes.
Doherty?
yes.
Davis? Mr. Davis? It's not here. Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal? Juby?
Juby, I.
Kenyon? Caius?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis? Linder?
Linder, yes.
Melina?
Molina, yes.
Roth?
Roth, yes.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman? Surges?
Sturgis, yes.
Tarver?
Tarver, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Williams?
Williams, yes.
Young?
Yes.
Passes.
Unanimous consent. So now, congratulations.
Davis, yes.
Take a picture.
Oh.
Yeah. That is microphone is significant. It's green and it's cold. Back here, you know. It's like cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
and then the sugar hangover. Probably some rum or vodka maybe. Moonshine. I haven't been to Mott's.
Drive by it all the time. I should stop in.
Okay.
That's all.
All right, we're ready for that. Okay. All right, may I please have a motion and a second to number item 2024-40.
Tarver seconds.
Okay, thank you. All right, I believe that, is there any discussion on this proclamation? Yes, Mr. Young.
Yes, David Young. From the proclamation, when you read that, it says it is imperative to confront and challenge discrimination and intolerance towards LGBTQ plus individuals, ensuring that our community is a place of acceptance and support for all. And for the most part, mutual respect is given in the circles that I travel. But what about the intolerance of some of the LGBTQ plus members toward people that are not part of that community, toward the Christian community, toward women? I want to discuss a few examples of this extreme sect of the LGBTQ plus community. Unfortunately, these are the members that are getting the publicity today instead of the local lawyer, the doctor, business professional, friend, colleague, or even family member. And I'm going to start with a couple of recent examples. The Olympic boxing, 2 members of the LGBTQ plus group who are biological males were allowed to compete against female boxers, a combat sport. And these biological men, they went on to win gold medals in female boxing. Where is the outrage? That is wrong. Swimming. A member of the LGBTQ plus group, a biological male, was allowed to compete against women, winning the NCAA women's 500-yard freestyle, taking that title away from a woman who had worked her whole life for that moment. And as a slap in the face, he uses the women's locker room and walks around naked in front of other female swimmers. And yes, the biological man is still very much a biological man. Where is the outrage? It is wrong. And there are numerous examples of biological men competing and winning in women's sports, soccer, wrestling, volleyball, golf. Some members of this group support gender-neutral bathrooms and locker rooms. In May 2021, in Loudoun County, Virginia, a member of the LGBTQ+ group, a biological male, raped a female student in a bathroom. In April 2023, at a high school in Riverside, California, a member of the LGBTQ+ group, a biological male, assaulted a girl after exposing himself to her in the girls' locker room. Where is the outrage? It is wrong. What about Audrey Hale? She was a member of the LGBTQ+ group, a biological female who was transgender. She is the Nashville killer from last year. She shot and killed 6 people, including 3 9-year-old kids in school. Where is the outrage? It is wrong. A few months ago, a biological male won Miss Maryland beauty pageant. A biological male won a female beauty pageant. Where is the outrage? It is wrong. Some members of the LGBTQ+, some members, I'm not telling everybody, I'm saying some members of this group want your kids and grandkids. They want their ideology to impact kids at an early age with books in public schools that are at best highly suggestive and at worst pornographic. They also promote the use of hormones and life-altering surgeries as young as 15 years old. Some of these young people went through these surgeries and are now older and they regret it and they are detransitioning. Their stories are very sad. Where is the outrage? It is wrong. Some members of the LGBTQ+ group promote drag queens reading children's books at libraries and bookstores. Where is the outrage? It is wrong. In 2023, a member of the Minnesota legislature, who was also a member of the LGBTQ+ community, introduced the Take Pride Act. This bill amended Minnesota's Human Rights Act, which protects an individual against discrimination based upon their gender identity and sexual orientation. The Take Pride Act removed the following sentence from the Minnesota's Human Rights Act, according to the definition of sexual orientation. They removed this sentence: sexual orientation does not include a physical or sexual attachment to children by an adult. That was removed. This means that pedophiles are now a protected class in Minnesota. This Take Pride Act was signed into law May 2023 by Tim Walz, who is Kamala Harris's running mate. Some members of these group, again, I'm saying some members, not all of them, some members of this group are very anti-Christian.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
I appreciate, I don't mean to interrupt, but
But you are interrupting me as per the Robert's Rules of Order. When we are speaking about something, each member gets 10 minutes to talk, and I have not spent 10 minutes talking.
we did not time you. Please,
I time myself. It's been about 6 minutes, and I'm sorry that these are hard truths to swallow. Some members of the LGBT+ group are very anti-Christian. At the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics a few weeks ago, members of the LGBTQ+ community insulted and blasphemed the entire Christian world population with their portrayal of the Last Supper with trans actors. It was a mockery of one of the most famous pictures of Christianity. Even the Vatican, who is pro-LGBTQ+, came out against it. You know, why was there a little girl in that scene with them? Where is the outrage? It is wrong. In its simplest form, this movement is an attack on women, taking away opportunities from women on all levels. So with that, I will not be supporting the proclamation, and I ask others on the board to oppose it as well. Thank you.
I have to say, you always come up with interesting comments. All right, so yes, Mr. Tarver.
Tarver speaking. I think the outrage here is that we waited this long for this proclamation. This should have been done in the month of June. So I applaud the board for still bringing this forth. Here in Kane County, I believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I think that's what the people of Kane County deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Guns. Thank you, Madam Chair. Respectfully disagree with my colleague, Mr. Young. I know my constituents are inclusive. Here in King County, I believe consistently that we are inclusive, and I just want to take a moment to what I believe is correct the record. The Feast of the Gods is not the same thing as the Last Supper. So it's possible that we could have that debate as to what you saw and what I saw. But I don't agree with you. And I'm happy to support this proclamation.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Madam Chair Linder.
Oh, yes, sir.
Madam Chair, I do want to dispute the litany of wrongs listed by Mr. Young. We could spend the rest of our lives talking about terrible things that straight people did. And when people do terrible things, it doesn't usually have anything to do with their sexual orientation. It has to do with some other moral compass within. And I also take objection to the fact that Mr. Young refers to Christianity, and I will tell you, I'm a gay Christian. I'm accepted by a large community of faith that believes in inclusion of all people. And I do object to the characterization that being gay is somehow anti-Christian. It's not a fair characterization. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? So I'd like to have this proclamation read out loud because this is a generic proclamation. Mr. Tarver, may I ask you to do this, to read it, please, and do us that honor?
The proclamation recognizing June as Pride Month 2024 in Kane County, Illinois. Whereas Pride Month is a time to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community's resilience, contributions, and diversity. And whereas celebrations include pride parades, picnics, parties, workshops, symposia, and concerts attracting millions of participants around the world. And whereas Kane County upholds equality, inclusion, and respect for all individuals regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. And whereas Kane County recognizes the importance of fostering a community where everyone feels safe, valued, and empowered to live authentically. And whereas it is imperative to confront and challenge discrimination and intolerance towards LGBTQ plus individuals, ensuring that our community is a place of acceptance and support for all. Therefore, be it resolved that the Kane County Board recognizes June 24 as Pride Month. We encourage all residents to join in celebrating the LGBTQ plus community's achievements, promoting acceptance and advancing equality for all.
Okay, and with that, please, Clerk.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
One more comment. I think this is about basic human rights. So let's support it.
Thank you, Ms. Bates. All right, let's call the roll.
Okay.
Ellen? Bates?
Bates, yes.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Doherty?
Already present.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford is not here. Gums?
Yes.
Iqbal? Juby?
Sure, aye.
Kenyon? Caius? Caius, yes.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Linder?
Linder, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Roth?
Roth, no.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Yes.
Surgis?
Surgis is a no.
Tarver?
Tarver, absolutely yes.
Tepe? Tepe, yes. Williams?
Present.
Young?
No.
Okay, still passes?
Passes. All
Madam
right.
Chair, Surgis.
Yes, Mr. Surges, and I'm sorry, before I recognize you, it's actually Mr. Let me get my glasses on, I'm so sorry.
Got his name right.
Mr. Linder, please.
Madam Chair, we're proclaiming a celebration of a national, international celebration that took place in June. Today's date is August 13th. This has gotten to be somewhat of an unfortunate habit of the board of proclaiming things that we normally would recognize and that are worthy of recognition in the middle of a month or at the end of the month, or certainly when there's special weeks. We're often at the end of the week. Our first meeting of the month is, no sooner than the 8th and no later than the 14th of the month. And months generally start on the 1st. I'm suggesting that we work together, and I'd be happy to work with this group, with our public information officer, with the Human Relations Committee, and with the Office of the Chair to put together a list of those proclamations that come up annually, and perhaps a subsidiary list of those that are likely to come up annually, and that we address these things at an annual meeting, either in December or January, then recognizing them in the month when they occur, but actually approving this list once a year so that we have these things out there that we're on record, have the debate that we need to have about all of them. Somebody's bound to be against, Heart Health Month because they don't believe in healthy hearts. I don't know. But whatever, I think I'd like to see us put together some way that we can be less embarrassed by not getting around to doing something important 2 months late. When this proclamation came up for the August meeting, I actually said it's embarrassing. We should put it off to next year. But I understand there's good cause not to put it off as well. So I did vote yes. But I'd like to see us put together that kind of initiative so that we aren't in this situation of embarrassing ourselves and embarrassing the groups that have requested proclamations by doing them late.
Very good. Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Surges.
Madam Chair, if I can address Mr. Linder directly, thank you so very much for stating that. I worked with Mike when this originally came out, suggesting this is way late. This is embarrassingly late. And I don't understand why we continue this pattern of behavior with bringing things so far behind. We also suggested removing the 2024 date from this and just making it an annualized event rather than having to proclaim it each year. I did vote no on this, but Mr. Linder, I want you to know that I am proud to be your colleague. I appreciate your courage, and I do not want to I don't want to lose the notion in this proclamation where it states imperative to confront and challenge discrimination and intolerance. Regardless of if that's late, early, we need to stand together firm on that notion, regardless of what your faith is, regardless of who your friends are. And that's it. Thank you. Michael, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. So we will move forward with that, Mr. Linder, and we can talk offline. And we'll be working with Human Services to be able to put that through and approve that list.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. All right. We now have a couple of ordinances that we're going to be moving forward. Zoning petition, and Mr. Ford is not here, so who's going to be presenting?
Vice Chair of that committee,
Okay.
William speaking.
Thank you.
Who's going to move that?
Our first zoning petition is matter TMP 24-2521. Petitioner is Matt Kwiatkowski, Loring Solar LLC. This property affects the southeast corner of Loring and CV Roads in Blackberry Township. They are requesting a special use in the F farming district for a solar facility. The 2040 plan designates this property as resource management. There were no objectors at the ZBA hearing. The zoning board of approval was unanimous in favor of the petition, subject to our typical conditions. There's a representative. I would move for approval.
Is there a second?
Gums will second.
Ms. Gums will second. Is there any discussion on this? All right, I think we're ready for the roll.
Okay. Ellen? Bates?
Bates, yes.
Berman?
Yes.
Doherty?
Doherty, yes.
Davist? Mr. Davist? Okay. Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Zuby?
Truby, aye.
Caius? Caius, yes. Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Linder?
Linder, yes.
Lena?
Molina, yes.
Roth?
Roth, yes.
Sanchez? Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Yes.
Tarver?
Tarver, yes.
Tepe?
Tuppy, yes.
Williams?
Williams, yes.
And Mr. Young?
Yes.
Okay, that passes.
Davis, yes. Little connection problem here.
Oh, thank you. All right.
Madam Chair, our next petition is on the agenda as TMP 24-2522, petition number 4636. The petitioner is Alfonso Fregoso, Ponce Lawn Service. The location of this property is 49 West 720 Lenshaw Road in Hampshire Township. It's a proposed 5-year additional interim special use to accommodate an existing landscape business. The 2040 plan is for Countryside Estate Residential. There were no objectors at the Zoning Board of Appeals. The ZBA recommended approval unanimously, I believe. I would move for approval.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Kenyon. We do have a speaker. Are you a proponent or proponent?
Good morning, Madam Chairman. My name is Scott Richmond, excuse me. I'm the attorney for the petitioners. I'm just here if there are any additional questions.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Is there any questions? No discussion? Hearing that, clerk, please call the roll.
Ellen?
Bates, yes.
Berman?
Burn, yes.
Doherty?
Doherty, yes.
Davist? Mr. Davist? All right, Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Zuby?
Truby abstain.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius? Caius, yes. Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Linder?
Linder, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Roth?
Roth, yes.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Burgess, yes.
Tarver?
Tarver, yes.
Tepe?
Tuppy, yes.
Williams?
Williams, yes.
Young?
Yes.
That passes.
Congratulations. All righty. There are no appointments. And do we have any committee updates? Yes, Ms. Gums.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Legislative Committee would like to give a brief update and congratulate. The governor signed our bill for broadband, Senate Bill 3173. Roger Fonstock, our Civil Division, Mr. Frank and his team, along with our legislators, worked really hard to get this done. And it will bring in money, so it allows us to lease our broadband infrastructure, and that's going to bring a revenue into the county. So it was a big deal, and everybody did a great job. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for that. Well done. Mr. Fonstock, are you in the room? There, congratulations.
I will just also note that Mr. Fonstock went down to testify. We worked with all of our legislators. It's Mr. DeWitt's bill, our Senator DeWitt's bill, and we had bipartisan. It was amazing. So thank you also, Madam Chair. We did a great job on it.
Oh, yes. And
Madam Chair.
And our lobbyists as well, McGuire Woods. They drafted and worked with the team and everybody else. So
I would like to recognize Mr. Iqbal because he's the one who kept
Oh,
on
yes.
pushing this forward.
Sorry.
He was kind of the initiator for the board. So thank you very much. And Mr. Iqbal, please share that there was a staff person that you worked with, wasn't there not, from IT?
Yes, I worked with an employee, actually, Mr. Lebo was the one who brought me in, and he was quite persistent that I follow up, and I did, and I'm thankful to Senator DeWitt and his staff for working with me on this one.
Absolutely.
And I did propose a proclamation honoring Mr. Lebo. I believe it's on your desk somewhere.
Very good. So let's, if you can make sure that we're aware of that and we can recognize him appropriately. Perhaps when we do either proclamation through the board or when we recognize all of our staff at the end of the year, which I think would be a very appropriate time for all of their contributions.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Fonstock, could you please put that on your reminder list? Yes, sir.
Williams here, just a quick comment. This is very good for the county. Do we have any idea what the projected revenues will be from our ability now to lease our broadband capacity?
Roger, do you have that idea?
Figured that out.
It's still morning, yeah. Good morning, Roger Fonstock with IT and Building Management. So in terms of revenue from broadband, it's hard to give you a specific number. I will tell you that it's a very valuable asset. And what we try to do is license the fiber based on our costs of construction. So we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 miles of fiber, and it's worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 a strand mile. And we have hundreds of strands of fiber. So if you look at the value of it, it probably would value it somewhere in the $12 million that we would hope to try to, eventually recapture it. Obviously, you can't do that all at once. So we're looking at contracts that usually are in the several $100,000 to recapture the investment that we made. We have probably, I think, 3 or 4 of those that are in process right now. No specific numbers, but generally they're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars every time someone wants to lease the fiber. Primarily, the interest is in fiber that connects to the tollway or out to Interstate 88 or Interstate 90, and we're just transport for a carrier. So we're not providing, home internet or things like that. We're helping carriers get large solutions where they need fiber to get out to major infrastructure. So that's the goal of it. I'd say the outer limits of it is what we have invested at $12 million over, more than a decade of work on it. And then we obviously want to recover our maintenance costs. So we're working on a contract with the state's attorney's office right now that will set the table and the cost of services for that. And then we have a couple contracts we're going to get started with as soon as we get permission from, I think it takes effect January 1. I don't think it takes effect until then. So if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to try to help.
Thank you. In the meanwhile, we can be prepared to accept the opportunity.
Yeah.
Very good. Mr. Doherty, yes?
I'm a little bit confused. I mean, it costs us $12 million to put in and plus maintenance. You said we're hoping to recover that. Is there a time frame? Are we going to recover that in 5 years? Then after that, it's profit, or how does that work?
Didn't cost us 12 million.
I can answer that. So in the course of investing in the money, the business case for this was based on the cost of delivering services to all of our county buildings. We have 29 county buildings that if it were not for doing the fiber infrastructure that we've done, we would end up paying for circuits, commercial circuits that would have cost us actually in excess of the money that we invested. The payoff period from the original project was about 5 years. So we already own the asset, and now we're just trying to recover what was invested in the asset. But time frame, most of the fiber will probably sit idle while we're trying to pick up customers. It's a lot. When you install the fiber, you don't install a handful of strands. You install 140 to 288 strands is what we have in the ground. So if you imagine you need 72 to 140 people using it, and we're just getting started. So it could take time. It could be 5 to 10 years.
I'm sorry, Roger. I'm just not hearing the number. What did it cost us to put in?
I think over the total of since 2010, 2012 timeframe, we've probably invested $12 million.
We have. Okay. So it was installation plus maintenance is what you calculate.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. Okay. Yes, Mr. Berman.
Committee report. Finance Committee has called for a special meeting next Monday to discuss continuing our discussion on the budget. So just make everybody aware of that.
All right. Yes, sir.
Surges, committee report, humans, just a reminder, human services is canceled tomorrow morning. We have scheduling conflicts there. And if I can step on the toes of transportation, Mr. Cayos and I attended the I-90 over Randall Road corridor. And I believe, Tom, can we say winner, winner, chicken dinner? We have chosen of all of the spaghetti posters we had last year, we have the one. Is that correct? There is a recommendation. So that was really well received. I know that the attendance was low that night. It was a hot, oppressive summer night, but I think the information was well received, at least the way we got it out to the community.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Just to piggyback on that, and you're correct, all the information was presented twice, once online and in person that we attended, and it still is available for another month for public comment and perusal on, excuse me, randallroadover90.com, the website. So if you want to, if you're interested in finding out what's going on with that particular stretch of road, Randall Road over 90.
Perhaps Mr. Davis, could you please include that on your agenda for next, your next meeting and pick out the one that may be the most appropriate, the recommended one, so that we can see it as a board? That'd be much appreciated. Yes, Ms. Bates.
Energy and Environmental Committee had our first meeting of the implementation phase of the Climate Action Implementation Plan. We had about 40 or 50 engaged citizens, residents of Kane County who are eager and enthusiastic to pick our next priorities for the Climate Action Plan.
Very good. Well done. Anybody else? Okay, excellent. All right, we are now on to our resolutions and ordinances consent agenda. Would anybody like to have an item pulled off consent? This side, onto my left. Yes, Mr. Young.
24-327.
Okay. Is there anything else? Mr. Young, that's it?
Yes, sorry, thank you. I was looking through everything, yeah.
Over on this side? All righty. So may I please have a motion and a second to approve all items except number
Then would move the consent agenda by
24-327. Thank you, sir.
And Roth will second.
Okay,
Madam Chair, point of order.
yes.
The proclamations that were already read, do you need to pull those?
No,
or
we've
can you
already
just
pulled
keep
them.
it?
They've already
Got it.
been
Okay,
pulled.
thank you.
They've already been pulled. Okay, but thank you for the clarification. All right. Ready for the vote? Please call the roll.
Allen. Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Doherty,
Oh, yes.
Davis. Here, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
All yes.
Juby. Juby, aye. Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linda, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
and Young.
Yes.
All right, very good. All righty, so we're now off consent. And let me make sure I get this right. All righty. So let's start with Mr. Young's and we can just go in order at that point. May I have a motion and a second to approve and discuss item number 24-327?
So move.
Yes, second.
Roth will second.
Bates, I got Bates. Okay, very good.
Second.
Caius a second.
Yeah.
Mr. Caius, okay, very good. All right, yes, sir.
David Young here to pick on the climate action plan. You notice that we're purchasing 3 vehicles and the climate action plan TL6, page 274 says that we will achieve 100% conversion of all gasoline vehicles within local government and public fleets to EV by 2040 and all diesel vehicles by 2050. So these are vehicles that are going to be purchased and they're not electric vehicles. So I'm going to vote for this, but I want the people that voted for the climate action plan and supported TL6 to vote against it.
There is an exception in the climate action implementation plan for sheriff's vehicles because of this. Please vote. Please help the sheriff buy his cars.
And, all right, it's 2040 for clarification. Is that for the climate action plan, 2040? Yeah, I think that those cars will probably be replaced. I think the sheriff's cars will probably be replaced within that period of time because they're very hard on their automobiles. So with that, with no other discussion, clerk, please call the roll.
Okay. Ellen,
Allen, aye.
Bates, Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, why is there an exemption for the police department?
We're taking the vote right now.
Okay, I had my hand up. Nobody called me. It's the first time my name's been called.
I'm sorry, we're voting. Is that a yes or a no, sir?
He was asking to be recognized, I believe.
Okay, no.
No.
Davis. Ward's not here. Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Should be aye.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linda, yes.
Ina,
Paulina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges.
Yep.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Seppi, yes.
Williams, Young.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, Mr. Doherty, you had a question. Ms. Bates, perhaps you can answer that about why is there an exception for the sheriff's vehicles?
I think it's the availability of the appropriate electric vehicles at this time.
Okay, Mr. Doherty, did you hear that?
Yeah, that was the same excuse for the trucks, for the lawnmowers. I don't understand why we even bothered with this stupid climate action committee if everything's exempt and we're blowing everything on the
Could we
beach.
take this offline, please, Mr. Doherty? Call me, please.
Wait, please. Point of order. Madam Chair, point of
Yes,
order.
yes, sir.
Well, while someone is speaking and they have the floor, could we please refrain from interrupting that other individual and let him or her finish their conversation? And let's try to be less rude. Thank you.
I think it's probably the passion, well said, but I think it's the passion of many people's beliefs. So, Mr. Doherty, your question, just to summarize, why are there exemptions? Ms. Bates, could you please?
No, thank you.
No, okay, very good. Okay, we're moving on then.
How much?
So we're going on to another vehicle. May I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 24-338?
Caius move.
Thank you, sir.
Berman, second.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. All right, is there any discussion? Yes, sir.
Yes, David Young. TL6, page 274, Climate Action Plan. Achieve 100% conversion of all gasoline vehicles within local government and public fleets by EV by 2040 and all diesel vehicles by 2050. There is no exception. There is no exception in the Climate Action Plan for a police vehicle or an ambulance or whatever, snow removal equipment. There is no exception. And per Mr. Doherty, that's what he's calling out. He says, well, why do we even have a climate action plan? Why are the people that were all in for the climate action plan, voting for a gasoline vehicle? they should be voting against gasoline vehicles. So please, the people that supported this climate action plan, vote no. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Bates, and then Ms. Gums.
I'll say the same thing I did 2 minutes ago. There's exceptions in the climate action plan for vehicles, for emergency vehicles at this point in time.
Ms. Gums?
Thank you. I just wanted to, respectfully, we did pass the climate action plan and that's what we're working under. So that's why we have to talk about it because this board decided to pass it. So.
Anything else? Dora's hand is not up. Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, Ellen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
and
Yes.
Doherty.
No.
Davis is not here. Ford's not here. Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Should be aye.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Epi, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Passes.
All righty. May I have a motion and a second to discuss and possibly approve item number 24-339?
Okay, I hope.
Williams
Gums-
moves.
Gums will second.
Yes, Ms. Gums seconds. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll. Thank you.
We safe to call?
Yes, please call the roll.
All right, for 339. Ellen, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Doherty,
Oh, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Should be aye.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Linder, yes.
Thank you. Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Epi, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Passes.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Ready. So the next item is item number 24-303. May I have a motion and a second to approve this?
Sanchez moves. Roth will second.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. This is,
This is second.
yes, it is the second reading.
Second reading.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I believe there was a.
Point of order, point of order.
Yes.
Can we have that wasn't on the microphone. What was the conversation going on up there?
Oh, it was
Frank, this is the second reading, so
Second
it is
reading.
for a vote.
just a clarification.
Yeah,
that
and
this
that's
is-
fine. We didn't hear it, so I wanted to make clarification.
All right, Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just at the request of the Civil Division, I have a simple text amendment to make. You'll see the title is now amending section 2-47 instead of 2-47A and B. So I want to reflect that in the resolved clause where it says now, actually the ordained clause, now therefore be it ordained by the Kane County Board that the Kane County Code, yada, yada, goes on. And it mentions section 2-47A and B. So my amendment that I'm motioning is to remove A and B from that. So it'll just read section 2-47 is hereby amended to read as reflected in Exhibit A.
Williams seconds.
Is there any discussion on that? No? All right, call the roll, please. Yes, yes, it has to be a voice vote. Mhm. This is just to amend.
Could we have that reread, please?
Yes, can you read?
Yeah, it is in the final clause, now therefore be ordained clause, where it goes on to mention section 2-47A and 2-47B. I'm proposing we amend that to just say section 2-47.
you see it on the last sentence?
I do. Thank
The
you.
last line, I mean. Okay, very good. All right, we're ready for the roll call.
Ellen? Bates?
Bates, yes.
Berman?
Yes.
Doherty?
Already come back,
I'm sorry?
come back.
Come back to
Okay, that you said it so fast. Davis is not here. Ford? Ford's not here. Gums? Ms. Gums?
Yes.
Okay. Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Juby?
Juby, I.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Linder?
Linder, yes.
Melina?
Molina, yes.
Roth?
Roth, yes.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Burgess?
Yes.
Tarver?
Tarver, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Williams? Young?
Yes.
And Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. Is there any discussion on the ordinance?
As
Yes,
amended.
yes, sir,
Uh,
Mr. Young.
David Young. On page 886 in our packet, it has the list, right, it has the list of the event of how the meeting is going to take order. And I've always questioned the new item number 4 called Chairman's Report and Remarks. And the reason why I question that is when you look at Robert's Rules of Order as well as our Kane County Code, it doesn't specify that that is one of the duties and responsibilities of the chairman. And in talking to several people, this is a more of a historical thing, but it doesn't mean that the chairman has the ability to come out and make a discussion or a speech about whatever she or he, whoever wants to at the time. So I want to make a motion to change this. Instead of it being chairman's reports and remarks, I'd like to say chairman's greeting.
Chairman's what?
Greeting.
Greeting?
So what you're doing is you're opening up the meeting, and whether it be you or the next chairman that comes along, you're simply opening up the meeting, and that's merely it. And if you allow me, I'll read just quickly from Robert's Rules of Order, section 47.7, duties of the presiding officer. Number 1, open the meeting and call the meeting to order. 2, announce the business that comes before the board. 3, recognize the members who speak. 4, state and put all questions, motions before the assembly. 5, protect the board from obvious motions that will stall. 6, enforce the rules relating to debate. 7, expedite business compatible with the rights of the board members. 8, decide all questions of order. 9, respond to inquiries of members relating to parliamentary procedures. 10, authenticate by signature when necessary acts, orders, and proceedings of the assembly. 11, declare the meeting adjourned. And then in Robert's Rule of Order, specifically 431 states that except in committees and small boards, which this is not, the presiding officer does not enter into discussion of the merits of pending questions. Robert's Rule of Order 4329 says that there is a rule against the chair's participation in debate, states he should have nothing to say on the merits of pending questions. So therefore, when you look at just the responsibilities of the duties of the chair, I would like to have this just be changed to chairman's greeting. So you can actually enter the meeting and you can start the meeting. And I'd like to have a second.
So.
Or just seconds.
Seconds on that. So I believe this goes to not just as he's reflecting to this seat that I'm in right now. If you read the conduct of meetings, order of business for meetings of the county board, So that would be all committee, the way I interpret it, each committee would be part of the county board. So any chair of a committee, if we follow suit, would not be allowed to have any comments at all. And oftentimes your comments are very well said, very thoughtful and responsive.
Point of order,
Yeah.
that's halfway, right? Because in a committee, the,
We have a point of order there. You've had your opportunities. Please, we've got a hand up to respond right behind you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To me, because of the Open Meetings Act, this would hinder our communication within the board. This is an opportunity when we're all together, when we can share. Sometimes the committee chairs or the chair has knowledge that the rest of us do not. And I, for one, would like to be able to hear that knowledge.
Microphone.
I would like to be able to hear that knowledge when we're all together. So because of the Open Meetings Act, I cannot support this.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Gums.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would ask council to weigh in on the language and intent. Does meetings include all committees?
We're looking at that right now. We'll have them, give me about a minute or two and we'll have an answer for you.
Thank you.
Okay, here, let other people speak as well. Yes,
I
sir.
think I might ask Mr. Young to amend his motion to exclude committees. The difference between the chair and a committee meeting is Madam Chair doesn't have a vote except in case of breaking a tie. Whereas in the committee meetings, for instance, JPS, Myrna is the chair of that meeting, of that committee. Her input is critical in those meetings. So I think there's a distinction there that we should probably make subject to the state's attorney's opinion.
Madam Chair, I have a comment to
But Mr. Caius?
Well, point of information or just information. I'm not sure where we are in this. You have referred to a page number or something, and we're referring to a document here. I find that this is difficult to do on the fly and would suggest that if we're going to do this, put it back in committee to find out what's going on. This is a big body to.
Are you suggesting that you would like to move this to a committee?
I would suggest we move it back to, if we're going to discuss this, we move it back to the committee. I move that we move that to committee.
We have a motion.
Is that a motion, sir?
No, there's a motion.
Is there a second for that?
Surges, did you?
Surges seconds. Okay.
but there's already a motion on the floor.
Yeah,
There's our motion. on
he
the
made a
floor.
motion and Surge's second.
There's a motion. on the floor.
Hold clarity, please. Clarity.
This is good.
Yes, yes, sir.
Well, you can move it back anytime.
Microphone, please.
Yeah. To bring to the chairman's.
On the floor to approve the ordinance and there is a pending amendment to the text. And so at this point, a motion to refer would be out of order until the amendment is either passed or withdrawn or defeated.
So this is the Young amendment that we're speaking about right now. So that would be, yes, sir. Do you have clarification on this?
So while 247 deals with county board meetings specifically as it relates to the county board meeting, 247 adopts 248 adopts 247's agenda. So this would in fact affect the agenda of the standing committees. However, you could make an amendment to this to have it only apply to the county board meeting by making a minor amendment to the amendment being proposed. So an option would be for Mr. Young to withdraw the second withdrawal and then make a new motion that would account for that if that's what you'd like to do.
Please.
Your choice.
I will withdraw that motion. And I will make a new motion that the item number 4, chairman's remarks, gets changed to chairman's greetings applicable to the county board meeting only.
County board chair only.
Well, the county board meeting.
Meeting.
Yeah.
The full county.
Yeah, right. That's what the meeting is. So is there a second?
I'll second that.
Surge seconds. No, you, sir.
Oh, I insist.
All right.
Yes. All right. We have a motion and a second. Yes, sir. No discussion.
What does that word mean? What is that, the difference in wording? What does that mean?
The microphone, sir. Mr. Berman, microphone.
Well, I'm asking the change, the wording, what does that mean? I mean, what is the difference between comments,
Doesn't apply to committees? Is that what you're asking?
Remarks.
And grading?
greetings? What's the difference between greetings and comments?
Was it your intention?
Definition, what is it?
Is there anybody else? Do we have, I think we need to have a legal definition of that.
So legal definitions almost traditionally either default back to like Merriam-Webster unless it's defined within the ordinance. I know of no definitions as to greeting, so I would tell you greeting is probably meant to restrict down to basically a salutation, whereas comments could be viewed very broadly.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, sir.
And as a point of order, the committee chairs by definition are part of that committee and they are always entered into the debate, unlike the chair of the board does not enter into debate per the Robert's Rules of Order. Committees, that doesn't apply because it's a committee. So the chairman of that committee always enters.
Right now, I
debates.
think the topic is
Correct.
greetings,
Right,
the
correct.
change. Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tepe here. I'm disturbed by the fact that it looks like we're trying to censure people as opposed to have an open discussion. And I would urge everybody to vote against this. Thank you.
Linder.
Is there any other
Linda-
discussion on
Linda's
this?
asking to be
Oh,
on.
I'm
Linda,
sorry.
I have-
Yes, yes, Mr. Linder, I see you. Yes, please.
Thank you. Robert's Rules of Order do call for the chair of the meeting not to enter into debate. And that would allow the chair to step down and put the vice chair in and be recognized for debate. I agree with the chair of a meeting not being positional as he or she chairs the meeting. However, I think it's absolutely essential. We have a county board president who does a lot of organizing events, attending things, bringing things forward. I think the president's, the chair's comments is an essential section of the agenda. I think it should remain. I think that if at some point in time the chair gets overly involved in debate on a question, that's the time for someone to raise a point of order. I don't think it's something that needs to go into the rules.
Thank you. Ms. Gums?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just I'm a black and white kind of person here, so I agree that the chair should not be in debate as a tiebreaker. I suggest to Mr. Linder's point that if the chair is, and rightfully so, is doing things on behalf of the county, that perhaps the chair could come to the committee in which that's relevant and do a report to the committee. So that doesn't stifle that language.
Madam Chair,
Yes, yes, sir.
I might also remind the members of the body that we always have the right to suspend the rules. So should this amendment pass and we need Madam Chair's input, we certainly could suspend the rules and invite her to participate in the discussion. Just
Madam Chair.
And please, this is, although I appreciate the reference to myself, this is historic for any future chair and for any future board.
Agreed.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think the change indicated currently indicates chairman's report and remarks. We have to remember that the chair, we provide duties, other duties and responsibilities as per the code to the chair. So there needs to be a point where the chair provides a report as to those duties that we've given the chair of the county board. If there's no place for a report on the agenda, there wouldn't be a way that the public be aware that the chair has responded to the duties as designated to her or him by the county board. So I don't believe greetings is sufficient. I believe the way the civil division put chairman's report / remarks encompasses that as per the county code and the duties that we assign the chairman. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes,
Look
my
at
thought,
microphone.
Shepro, my thought is that this amendment is unnecessary for the reasons that have been stated by Mr. Young and Mr. Williams. Robert's rules addresses the question of the ability of the chair in an assembly like the county board to participate in the debate. And it is within the purview of any member. And even if you made the amendment, someone would still have to bring up if they thought that the chair was out of order. So, and to Ms. Molina's point, if there are other duties assigned, you don't want to have the code so restrictive that it might limit the ability. The duties of the chair, as I understand the idea of the greeting, would be it's limited to bringing the meeting to order and conveying any information, not argument, that the board needs to know. And that is within the control of this body as to what is allowed. And so it seems to me that Robert's rules covers the situation that is being concerned about, and I see Mr. Frank doesn't agree with me.
Mr. Frank, I recognize you.
So Frank, my concern is if you all decide that comments is allowed under your own ordinances, you're going to get into a ordinance versus Robert's rules debate. So it's up to you which way you want to go with this. But if you keep it as currently is, you can essentially acquiesce and allow the chairperson. My understanding is this stems from even before the current chair. If you want to keep it as is, that's perfectly fine. If you want to modify it, then the rules that you have adopted as the board essentially would be in conformity with Robert's rules. And then if somebody steps out, then you can object to it. So Mr. Shepro is correct that essentially Robert's rules you've already adopted. Right now, you've been in conflict with Robert's rules now for years. It's been largely adopted. It's really up to you on which way you want to go with this at this point.
Does everybody understand what this is about? But now we also had another, if you feel this needs more discussion, there was a previous suggested motion on the table to move this to committee for further discussion.
No,
If you,
point of order.
that was,
Vote on the First Amendment.
yes, correct. Vote on the First Amendment. So Mr. Iqbal,
Madam Chair, I have a request or suggestion. If Mr. Young wants it, he could change the word comments to remarks rather than greetings. Remark is more official, or greeting is unofficial kind of word. So if you want to change it to remark, I think I would support it.
I don't. Thank you.
It's currently remarks.
okay, so there is a motion and a second to change the
Item number 4.
what item I'm looking for?
4, the new item number 4.
4.5, no, number 4, sorry, number 5, 555. Chairman's report / remarks to greeting. So this does not allow the chair of this board or any future board to give a report or make any remarks unless approved of by the board's authority.
Call the question.
Call the vote, please.
This is for the amendment, correct?
Correct.
And it's for the,
We're voting on the suggested item that 5 becomes chairman's greetings. the change of language rather than report/remarks.
Okay.
And for the full county board only, correct?
The full county board only.
Okay,
Meeting for whole.
are we ready?
I'm ready.
Ellen? Bates,
Bates, no.
Berman,
Berman, no.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Truby, I.
Kenyon. Caius,
Yes, no.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
No.
Linder,
Linder, no.
Molina,
Molina, no.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, no.
Silva,
Silva, no.
Schrathman, Surgis,
Yes.
Tarver,
No.
Tepe,
No.
Williams,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Mhm. It fails. It's 13.
All right, that motion fails. Any other discussion on this? Yes. Yes, I recognize you.
Chuby?
Ms. Chuby, yes,
Thank
please.
you. I'm not going to put forth a motion to amend because I will not have the votes to carry it, but I do want to say that I'm a little disappointed that we only offer 45 minutes of public speaking. Thank you.
You've been recognized once. I want to see if there's anybody else, sir. Anybody else, any other amendments on this? All right, Mr. Young, you have another one?
David Young, we talked about this last month about, public comment that Leslie was talking about. 16I and 16H, it says individuals addressing the board shall refrain from statements, remarks. I'd like to change on both of those. Instead of shall refrain, are encouraged to refrain. And I'll make a motion to have that changed for both 16I and 16H.
Molina will second that.
Okay. Does everybody see where we're at with this?
No. What's the motion?
Page 889.
Oh, Mr. So
Let
let's
me
get
say
to
that
page
again.
889. Is it up?
Clerk, can you bring that up?
889. Should I read it again, Madam Chair? Should I read it again?
It's number H, right?
Can we wait until we get this up?
Letter H.
And then I'll.
889.
So.
In what paragraph?
There you go. And it's I.
H and I. So it's 889.
So paragraph 16H, right?
And 16I, yes.
So.
Shall is out and encouraged.
Okay, so could you just restate that now that everybody can see this?
Yes, David Young. So 16H, 16I, it's talking about public speaking, and it just says speakers shall refrain from statements or an individual addressing the board shall refrain from statements. I'd like to change this instead of shall refrain to are encouraged to refrain. And the reason for that, it just is more, it's less restrictive, should I say. And we don't need to get into the whole, hey, you're limiting freedom of speech. So that was my motion, and Melina seconded it.
Okay. So I would like, yes, Ms. Gums.
Thank you. I need a legal
Wait a
opinion.
minute, wait, hold on a sec. I don't mean to interrupt. Do we have a second on that?
Molina, second.
Melina, second. Okay, thank you. Okay. Ms.
I'm looking
Gums.
for a legal opinion on whether free speech is allowed in a public body building.
So unsurprising to anybody that knows how lawyers work, this is a loaded question. Here's what I'll say. You are a limited public forum when you're operating in this capacity. So you can set rules on how much time they get, what things they can do. But the only thing you can't do is control content. So you can in fact create basic rules of decorum without infringing free speech under the current case law. But you cannot create any kind of a rule that would infringe upon only certain types of speakers for certain content, if that makes sense. So it has to be neutrally applied to everyone, and it has to be new content neutral. So as long as the county board views this as content neutral, that would be, and what I can tell you is the language as amended, I would view as content neutral. But that's not to say that people will disagree. And if you want to make it more
Shall is content neutral?
No.
So what I'm saying is the words that are modified by shall. So when you are telling people that they have to refrain from disruptive behavior, that is content neutral because it's not promoting a political ideal over another. So this would be fine under the case law that I've read. If you want to make it more permissive, though, you absolutely can. So the amendment that's on the floor, as well as the current language, I would view as both legal. I would view Mr. Young's amendment as even more permissive. The only thing I will say is when you have encourage on there, it does get away from ordinance, from the chair having the authority of an ordinance to kick someone out. But the chair is still charged under Robert's rules with decorum and does have the right to trespass somebody, which would allow then the officers that are here to protect us to remove somebody who's now become disruptive. So you're moving away from ordinance authority and you're moving towards just the chair's rights as decorum under Robert's rules.
Thank you.
Anybody else? You wanna
Madam Chair,
respond
David
to
Young.
that? Yes, Mr. Young.
David Young, the Robert's Rule of Order 61-7 says that non-members can be excluded at any time from part or all of the meeting. 61-19 says any non-members allowed in the hall during a meeting have no rights with reference to the proceedings. An assembly has a right to protect itself from annoyance by non-members. The chair has the power to require non-members to leave the hall. And last year, Mr. Sanchez had someone removed. And this year, Mavis Bates had the whole entire audience removed. So if we adopt this amendment under Robert's Rule of Order, if someone is out of line, you have the right to remove them.
We have,
Well, first, I just wanted to say that the Roberts rules in that case would give way to the state's Open Meetings Act. So whatever Roberts rules would say, you can't enforce it in a way that would be violative of the Open Meetings Act. But to the rest of your comment, yes, if someone is disruptive, and again, that is arguably a subjective determination as to what's disruptive. And that would be true regardless of whether you say people are encouraged or shall refrain. You still eventually would have to come to a conclusion either by the presiding officer or by the board collectively as to what constitutes a disruption. And that would have to be consistent with interpretations of the Open Meetings Act. Political criticism might appear to be disruptive, but it's pretty clear that that's content related. And I remember from law schools, I think the test is you can regulate time, place, and manner, but not content. But your regulation of time, place, and manner also has to be not have the effect of discouraging or ruling out certain types of comments.
That is my recollection as well of the rule.
the one question or concern I have is not so much with I, but with H, because we're going into personal, private business of people who work here. It says that very clearly, individual county employees, their lifestyles. So that is personal knowledge that has nothing to do with their professional level of being here. So
That I think is, well,
What I will say is anytime you're involving yourself into the content of what they're saying, you're inviting concerns of a possible liability lawsuit. So it's up to you on what you believe to be an appropriate measure that affects, non-content. But if you're flirting into content in any kind of capacity, do that knowingly.
Could you explain that again, please?
Yeah, absolutely, Ms. Bates.
Take it down for me.
Here's what I'm gonna say to you. I don't want to get into a position where I'm giving you like legal advice to the point where I can't later give you. Let me just say it this way. When you ask your lawyer for legal opinion, you're kind of binding your hands later on. And so I'm happy to give you guys, when you're asking me questions in public for legal advice, I'm happy to respond. But please understand that I'm not going to tell you something's okay. And then we get sued and you're going to look at me like, why did you say it was okay? What I'm saying to you is you need to stay away from content. You can regulate the amount of time, you can regulate where, you can regulate when in the agenda. There's a lot of things you can do, but you cannot get into content. Now, the point is to be content neutral. When you start getting into things of we're going to say no to this type of content by everyone and it's neutral, now you're getting into things that might not have been formally determined by a court yet. I don't know what the answer to this is. What I can tell you is you've had it on the books. It's not been sued on. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, when you're involving yourself in content, do so knowingly.
Madam Chair, if we voted on the amendment and you had a motion on the floor, does that motion survive to move back to committee?
no, he'd have to make it again.
You have to make it again. You have to make it again.
That died at that.
It was, so the word encouraged, requested, perhaps is another word that may be similar to your intent, Mr. Young. But I'm just a suggestion. Yes, Mr. Iqbal.
Madam Chair, I appreciate Mr. Young's comment. I think they are very well taken. He is going back to what has happened during the public comments and your reaction to them in the past. And looking at this is a very small restriction that is being put on the comments. You can say the ruling by the chair was incorrect, looking at this thing, but this provision is not bad. It says it should be for the employees, none of the board member or the chair or employees. And it should be totally private. My election committee, the donation that I get or whatever are not private. They are public and they could be attacked in public. So you can say the ruling was bad, but we don't have to go and change the provision. But it's good to think, and is there a better way to say it? That's my comment.
All right. So I think we've had enough discussion. Could you please read back what the suggested changes? Celeste, thank you.
Okay, from my notes, I've got that Young move to amend paragraph 16H and 16I. In the 16H, speakers are encouraged. He's recommending deleting the word shall so that it reads, speakers are encouraged to refrain from statements or remarks, et cetera. And also for paragraph I, remove the word shall. So it'll read, individuals addressing the board are encouraged to refrain from statements, remarks, et cetera.
Okay, so are you ready to take the vote? No, please take the vote. Call the
Okay,
vote.
let's do a roll call. That's the amendment. So Ellen,
No.
okay, Bates,
Bates, no.
Berman,
No.
Doherty,
Back.
what?
Come back.
Come back.
Come back, okay. Had to say it slower for me.
Sorry.
That's okay. Gums,
Gums, no.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, no.
Juby,
No.
Kenyon,
No.
Caius,
Caius, no.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, no.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, no.
Strathman, Surges,
Yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, no.
Tepe,
Deppie, no.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
And it looks like it fails.
13-9.
13-9, it fails.
9.
All right. Are there
Fails.
any other amendments to this? Seeing none, are any other discussion on these items, on this? All right, we're ready? Yes, yes, ma'am.
I'd request that this be moved back to executive. It looks like we have to workshop a couple other things that I would like to discuss, and I think time isn't permitting us to do it now. So my motion is to move this back to executive.
Okay, there's a motion to move. Is there a second?
Roth will second.
Wrong.
Okay, Molina and.
I'm sorry, your microphone.
Madam Chair, what's the reason to go to executive?
Ms. Molina?
Executive is where the conversation
Executive
started.
committee.
Executive committee?
Committee,
Yes.
not executive
Not
session.
executive
Oh,
session.
okay.
Pardon me. Yeah. I just think we have a couple of more amendments that maybe are needed. So it should go back to committee before it's voted upon.
Okay, very good. So there's a motion to move it to, do we know the next date of the executive committee? Can we look that up so we have that in the minutes?
Madam Chair.
Hold on, please. Let's just get this done. Unless you've got the date.
September 4th,
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ross.
9 a.m.
September 4th. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I address Ms. Molino, please?
Oh, absolutely.
Ms. Molina, because I always trust your judgment, I'm willing to vote yes on this, but I would really like to see this done. And so may I ask you what issues you have that require us to start all over again?
Well, we're not
possibly?
starting all over again, Ms. Bates. I think several members of the committee have made questions regarding the amount of time we're allowing speakers to speak. There were some amendments made at last executive that I don't know if everybody has a chance to review. I know this is the second reading, but this is kind of the first reading with all the amendments that were made in executive. It's a large change to this code. It wasn't just one thing. I think the best approach would have been to take it piecemeal by piecemeal, vote it, approve it, and then move on. But there's been a lot of changes since we originally brought this on. So I think a couple of weeks makes sense for us to obtain not just what we are looking at, but also more comments from the public as to the changes to this code.
Okay, very good. All right. Okay, so there's a motion and a second with no further discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, this is going back to the executive committee. Allen. Okay, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
No.
Doherty,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, no.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
no.
Kenyon,
No.
Caius,
No.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, no.
Linder,
Linder, no.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, no.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman, Surges,
Yes.
Tarver,
No.
Tepe,
Deppie, no.
Williams,
Yes.
and Young.
Yes.
All right.
12-10.
It lost 12-10.
10.
Motion fails.
That fails.
All righty. Okay, so are we ready to take now the vote on the amendment as changed, as the ordinance as amended?
Was it a minute?
Yes, we are ready.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for that confirmation.
Get outta here.
All right, let's, we've got lots to talk about yet. Please, clerk, call the roll. We're voting again on the ordinance as amended.
And it's to include the just section 2-47, correct, Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Yes.
Getting rid of A and B. Okay. Ellen. Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Doherty.
Or yes.
Okay. Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, no.
Juby,
Juby, aye.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Rathman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Oh.
Tarver,
Yes.
Tepe,
Seppi, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
It passes.
It passes. All right.
Oh, my God.
Okay, congratulations. This is your first change of ordinance. So, good. That was painful.
Yeah.
Have, we're going to be moving into executive session.
Could we
Yes.
have a short break before or after?
I would like to go into executive session and then certainly we can take that break at that time, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And you've been sitting here for a little while.
Madam Chair Gums,
Yes, Ms. Combs.
I would like to move to go into executive session for purchase of real property for the use of public land, license agreement, property acquisition. I think which is all covered
Roth will
under
second.
number 5.
Roth will
Ms. Bates-
second.
Ms. Bates, second. Roll call vote, please.
Ellen, Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Or yes.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Aye.
Kenyon,
Yeah.
What are we voting?
Caius,
What are we voting on?
going to
Executive
closed session.
Of course, let's do it.
It's an amendment.
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva, Stratman,
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, that's better.
Please pay attention. We can take the roll call.
I can't hear you guys. Strathman, I'm sorry. Thank you. Surgis,
Yes.
Carver,
Yes.
Tepe,
Seppi, yes.
Williams, Young.
We're going to
Yes.
close session. I'll see you back here at 12:33.
33.
Yes, I do. I had them turn it up last time and they got.
Oh, okay.
Okay, everybody online that's going to be joining us in the closed session, please accept your invites. If you're in the room with your computer logged into the Zoom, you must also join the closed session. Members of the public that are leaving the room, please make sure you take all bags, jackets, anything has to go with you outside the room. Thank you. Accept those invites and I'll let you know when we are in closed session. Keep in mind, we are live streaming. Anybody not going into the closed session, you will still be live streaming out to the public.
And.
That's dirty.
Money. We'll have to see.
Hey, with the red jackets, we can make
Yeah,
money.
it's right.
Is there anything
Celeste,
back there?
do you need a sweater?
I brought,
Yeah.
remember I brought that.
I've got most of my blankets on, but.
I know.
Get back.
I know.
Yes.
Well, I know.
Well,
And I got so
put it in the
excited
capital.
and then.
All right, what's going to be the result of this next topic?
It's the electric.
Elgin property.
I think we hadn't designated the amount.
Such a big deal.
Yes.
Wire the ceiling.
It didn't listen to your prayer.
I wanted you to reread all the amendments. It's like,
Lights.
could have said that. Please read every single.
Reminder to everybody in the room that has joined the Zoom, you must join the closed session. please accept those invites. I'm also missing several online people. So right now we have two worlds going on. We've got some people in closed session, the boardroom, as well as about 5 people that need to accept their invites.
It's more of a fixture.
County board right now.
Right.
What are we doing?
Everyone diffuses the.
Say that the length of the meetings is inversely
Yeah. Oh, so it
to
it
the
diffuses instead of just.
significance of the items being discussed.
And it's. Yes. So it's not.
Yeah, well, that's also true.
No.
The amount of times I bite my tongue when I see things. come
That was
through
my
here.
first. How,
And can we afford it?
Corollary is the law of short agendas,
and Madam Chair.
which is the shorter the agenda, the
Bueno, yo.
longer the meeting.
Maybe 700. Chad, you gotta do everybody's work.
Didn't even speculate.
Where?
I don't know if there's anything that's $700.
Well,
All right, I have two people that have not accepted their invites. I will have to put you into the waiting room if you don't accept those invites. Two individuals that need to join the meeting, the closed session.
This is closed session side.
Fire restraint.
Accept.
The boardroom has not joined the closed session yet. So there should be an invite for those two individuals.
Wait.
Mr. Doherty, you are one of those.
I don't have an invite.
Sorry, say that again.
I do not have an invite.
Sure it's not behind something else.
Yeah. Which one? Being bigot?
I'm looking. I'm
Maybe it's under the rug at the front door.
Why not?
We're good.
Exactly. Even though Cliff
Yep.
just voted no with me.
It's not-
Not make 2 o'clock.
All right.
Are you buying lunch today?
Did I miss anything?
Yes.
Not yet.
We're going to sell the county building
I'm sorry,
and close the jail.
and the chief, and the
That's right.
found Ritz with the cheese.
Why are we in executive session?
Why are we doing this?
Those are yum.
Executive session 4?
All right, I'm sorry. I looked for it. I could not find it, Brent.
All right, are we still ready?
You're still not seeing the invite?
No, sir.
Why do we need to go to the executive session?
You justify your high salary, right?
Mr. Davis, do you have your invite?
Leonard, I thought there are things to do.
I do.
Raspberries, but what are the oranges?
Not really.
Lock, make it quick.
Golden
Let's go.
raisins.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh,
This is Kiefer, it's brewed.
no, I don't. Hold on a second.
Mr. Doherty, only thing I can suggest is you go ahead and exit the meeting and rejoin it. And I'll send you another invite. I show that you have an invite that has been sent. I'm not sure why it's not showing up.
Okay.
So that would be my suggestion.
I didn't go to the gym this morning. I wanted to be here early.
The space turns off. All right, so we're just waiting for Mr. Doherty?
Not to, yeah.
Yeah, and I had to put Mr. Davis into the waiting room.
Okay. Okay, are we ready?
You're not.
Not yet, right?
Yes.
So you don't.
I'm gonna read it.
All right. let-
Okay. so then you can read it.
Absolutely. No, please feel free.
I read it, that's fine.
The guys on the commercials,
Whenever you're ready.
quick reading like that, you know?
Yes, to read.
You can have a second job.
He is an attorney.
Gets paid by the word.
All right, you are in open session.
We are back in open session. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yeah.
Ellen. Present. Bates. Bates here. Berman.
Berman's here.
Doherty.
Right here.
Davis.
Davis here.
Ford, not here. Gum.
Comes here.
Iqbal.
Iqbal present.
Truby.
Truby here.
Kenyon.
Here.
Caius.
Vice President.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis. Linder.
Linder here.
Molina. Roth, not here. Sanchez. Either. Silva.
Silva is here.
Strathman. Here. Surges.
Burgess present.
Tarver.
Harvard's here.
Tepe.
Up here.
Williams.
Here.
Young.
Here.
All right, you have a quorum.
We have a quorum. All right, we have one item left. May I please have a motion and a second to accept item number 24-340? Which,
Caius move.
thank you, Mr. Caius.
Carver
Mr.
seconds.
Iqbal, second. I believe it needs to be read. So are you ready to read it now before we take the vote?
Yes, Madam Chair. Frank SAO, resolution number 24-340 approving emergency appropriation and authorization, execution of purchase and sale agreement and other corresponding documents for purchase of real estate located at 2170 Point Boulevard, Elgin, Illinois, 60123. Whereas pursuant to section 5-1004 of the county's code, the Kane County Board shall exercise the powers of the County of Kane as a body corporate and politic. And whereas section 5-1005 subsection 1 of the county's code authorizes the County of Kane to purchase and hold real and personal estate necessary for the uses of the county. And whereas section 5-1005 subsection 3 of the county's code authorizes the County of Kane to make all contracts and do all other acts in relation to the property and concerns of the county necessary to the exercise of its corporate powers. And whereas the Kane County Board determined that it is necessary to purchase and hold real estate located at 2170 Point Boulevard, Elgin, Illinois, 60123, PIN number 03-32-126-005 for the uses of the County of Kane. And whereas by resolution 24-304, the Kane County Board authorized the Kane County Board Chairman to execute a purchase and sale agreement on behalf of the County of Kane for the property that would outline the terms and conditions of the transaction. And whereas in accordance with 55 ILCS 5/6-1003, an emergency appropriation adjustment is required in the amount of $3 million. Now therefore be it resolved that the Kane County Board authorizes the Kane County Chairman to execute purchase and sale agreement and all other corresponding documents on behalf of the County of Kane in consultation with and subject to the advisement and to the satisfaction of the Kane County State's Attorney's Office that are required to facilitate and complete the purchase of property located at 2170 Point Boulevard, Elgin, Illinois, 60123, PIN number 03-32-126-005. Now therefore be further resolved that the Kane County Board, that the Kane County Board Chairman is authorized to take all other acts on behalf of the County of Kane in consultation with and is subject to the advisement and then satisfaction with the Kane County State's Attorney's Office that is that are necessary to facilitate and complete the purchase of real estate located at 2170 Point Boulevard, Elgin, Illinois, 60123, PIN number 03-32-126-005. Now therefore be further resolved, the Kane County Board authorizes the following emergency appropriation adjustment to the fiscal 24 budget, count number ending in 39,900, fund balance utilization for 3 million, moved over to account number ending in 72,130, buildings health, for $3 million, passed by the Kane County Board on August 13th, 2024.
All righty, may I have a vote? Ready to take the vote? No, clerk, please call the roll. Oh, is there any discussion?
No, we already did a
motion.
And second.
That was the fast part.
Is there any discussion on this item?
No.
None, clerk, call the roll.
All right. Ellen. Bates.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Doherty. Went out there. Yes or no?
Oh, sorry. Yes, yes.
Thank you. Davis.
Davis, yes.
All right. Gums.
Comes no.
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
No.
Ian,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linda, yes.
Melina.
Yes.
Sanchez not here either. Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
That'd be yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young.
No.
Still passes. 1 to 3 nays.
All righty. Is there any new business? We've talked a lot today. All right. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Move, we adjourn and want you to know we're beating 1 o'clock.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. All in favor? Aye.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michael.